Thanks for watching part one. If you haven't watched part one, you don't have to, but you should go listen to it. It's fun. So this is part two of the Dakota and Dakota podcast. Welcome back.
Welcome.
That's something I've been thinking about a lot recently too. Is like, do I want to be the person shooting video? As much as I love video, like we're doing it right now. This is fun. I love it, but this is more of like a passion thing. I think eventually I want to just grow it where I'm the business side, where I'm working on all the pre-production stuff and even post-production stuff if needed. But I'd love to just do that business growth side of it and then hire or subcontract or work with or just have other people that are around to help more, so that if I do go out on a shoot, it's not just me. It's me and three other guys who are able to work on it, and I don't have to worry too much.
Yeah.
And I can have somebody editing, and then I can work and put my sole focus into building a business.
Yeah. No, money, being able to use money to pay for your time back is such an incredible tool, and the sooner you learn it, the better off you'll be, because there are certain tasks that you just don't want to do, and you know that they're just going to take a lot of time, and that's time that you don't have and that you would rather spend doing other things. So for me, I love the shooting part. For most projects, I love to do the shooting. But the editing part is where I'm like, I don't want to sit down and edit all this, or I don't want to organize these files and edit it all, where I could just, be out shooting or getting another client so that I can go shoot some more. So I would, and I saw this from a different podcast that I listened to. When you are budgeting your money off of a client's video, right? And they say the budget is $2,000 for this video. As a freelancer or as a photographer, videographer, you do have to pay taxes on your income, right? Like, it's not, I'm making $2,000 off of this. No, you have to.
It's not pocketable.
No, you have to save money from that. And usually I recommend like 30%. I think freelance tax or something, it's like 26%, but you'd rather have more
be on
than
the
less.
safe side for sure.
And you can, as a business, luckily, you can use that money as expenses instead of paying it to the government, because why would I want to give my money to the government?
Exactly.
So for us, like, that's purchasing equipment or hiring somebody to do the things that you don't want to do. So for a budget of $2,000 on a video, you take that 30% that you were going to save back as taxes and you just hire somebody to do the editing.
Well, there you go.
Right? Like, that's solving two issues with one, killing two birds with one stone.
I did not know that. This is news to me. So
I mean, what portion?
Well, how it works exactly. I don't know exactly how it all works. It's very,
No, and that was something that I just learned recently, and like, I knew about, like, okay, yeah, save your money for taxes, whatever. But it makes so much sense to be like, yes, I'm going to take 30% of that, which I would be paying towards taxes, and just instantly expense it to somebody else to do the portion of the work that I don't want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so for when you're scaling a business like we are, you only have so much time in a day, and you only have so much time in a week. And a lot of the time, you're spending it doing things that you don't want to do, because either you procrastinate it and you're like, it's always on your mind. I need to do this. I need to do my taxes. I need to do this editing for this project. Once you start outsourcing that and really focusing on the things that make you money. So for me, the things that make me money, or more money, is finding new clients.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find new clients. It's very difficult. And you know this, I know this, every creative knows this, because they're constantly being reached out to by a million different people. So you are trying to break through the noise of all these other photographers or videographers that are reaching out to them. And granted, there might be a few that aren't being reached out to by very many, but for the ones that are, you are working double as hard to try to get through to them. And that's taking up more of the time that you already don't have. So when you start stacking and layering on top of that, like, I need to shoot this project, I need to edit this project, I need to talk to this one client to figure out what we're actually doing. And you start breaking down those tasks into what's actually making you money. Is editing making you money? No, because you need to finish that editing, to send to the client before they pay you.
Right.
It's not directly making you money. You do have to finish that.
It's important, but
right. It's not like you're going out and you're getting a sale from somebody or like getting a commitment from somebody. So that's something that you can outsource to somebody else while you're actually doing those things that are directly making you money.
Like, lead generation, for example. Yeah.
Yeah. Or and it's you can only do so many things at once as well. So for a lot of my projects, I still do all the shooting, all the editing and everything just because one, I like doing it for most of them. So I'm like, I know what I want from it, and it can be a little hard to work with an editor and just go back and forth on I didn't want it
having the same mindset and knowing, like, when you're out shooting, a lot of the time when you're out shooting, you go, oh, I know what this shot could be, and you kind of put it in place on your editing timeline before you even finish shooting. So I know exactly what you're saying there.
And so those are the types of problems where I already know it's going to take me longer just to send this off to somebody and do it, that I just might as well do it myself. But that was one of the things that I really understood after working my full-time job and then doing this on the side, because my time was already very restricted. Like I was giving 40, 50 hours of my week to my job, and then to try to find time to sleep, eat, work out, have a relationship with anybody, and then also do all the shooting for these clients. It was getting very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where it's like, well, I might as well go in all in on it. Right? Like I'm 23. I'm on my dad's insurance for another 3 years.
There
so
you go.
I have 3 years to make it happen.
3 years to make mistakes and then continue to make mistakes forever.
Well,
because that's how we learn.
It is. It really is. And I've made so many mistakes with my company and with my businesses. And it gets to a point where you see the decline in not necessarily effort, but just the fact that you don't have the time or the energy after doing everything else to actually build your business.
Yeah.
And it's like watching, the Titanic sink, and you're like, it's going to the bottom of the ocean.
But you can't really do much about it.
Right. Unless you do something about it. So for me, that's kind of what it's been. It's just like, I've got to make it happen. Burn the ships has been one of my favorite sayings that I just learned recently, which if you don't know what that means, I don't remember exactly where it's from, like Vikings or whatever, but it's like these people would go into battle and they'd burn all their ships so they have no escape plan. So you have to make it happen.
It's one of those, there's no plan B.
Right.
Huh. Yeah, I like that. Burn the ships.
Yeah. So I think of it like, you're going into battle and you're like, burn the escape
It's
plan.
either this or nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just make it happen. Otherwise, I'm confident I can make it happen. So I've made.
That's why you burn the ships.
I was being a little bit safe on it. It wasn't like, empty my bank account and go all in.
Right.
Because that's just stupid. But I'm a firm believer that it just takes 3 to 6 months of like focus in any skill or in any sort of thing that you're trying to grow in. If you work at it consistently for 3 to 6 months, you're guaranteed going to get better at it.
Yeah. I don't remember who said it. You read it everywhere, but it takes 10,000 hours to get good at something or to master something. I think that was, 5 years or something like that of like a normal work week. I don't remember exactly the math, but it's not that long, but again, it is a lot of time. And again, to master something, it takes that 10,000 hours or whatever, but you don't have to master something to do good at it. Like I don't have to spend 10,000 hours recording things, editing things, reaching out to businesses, lead generation, because all those are different things. You don't have to spend that much time on all of them. But if you manage it correctly and you do it well, you're going to do well.
And there's nothing more rewarding than seeing your hard work pay off.
Yeah.
And granted, there are people who don't work very hard and they see payoff right away.
You know what? Good for them. I wish it was me.
Good for them, but also in the same sense, I feel for those people, and I've seen it time and time again, they don't really comprehend the fact that it takes grit
Yeah.
to usually get where you want to be. So then once they start seeing some failures, they really go off the deep end.
Right back to the mistakes thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they don't have the time, if they blow up overnight in a sense, if they don't have the time to make those mistakes, right, they're going to hit something and it's going to go down and they're going to go down with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of value in making mistakes and screwing up and messing things up in every aspect of life. But as a creator, like you're going to look back on a project you did 6 months ago, 2 months ago, even 2 weeks ago, and you're going to look, I could have done this different. I could have done that different. But that's the best part. You can look back at it, you take it, you learn from it, and you continue.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just recently kind of reflected on about 3 years ago, I had a sales call with a client, and it was like my first sales call. Like I was so nervous leading up to this sales call. I was watching so many videos on
YouTube.
The future on YouTube is an amazing resource for creators, but I was watching like everything to master the sales call.
I've been there.
And there is so much value in doing that research, but you don't understand sales calls until you get on them, because you can do as much research as you want and researching different ways to rebuttal on when they say no.
Yeah.
But until you actually do it and the nerves are there, you're not going to learn it. But I had this first sales call with a client 3 years ago, and I sold them on a $400 video editing project. And that same client I landed for a retainer of nearly $2,500 a month.
There you go.
And so
that's crazy.
to go from literally $2,000 more expensive.
That's insane.
Yeah. And
it's
so
the growth there.
Yeah. And that's direct reflection on how much I've grown. And that was a single project that I now have sold onto a retainer,
a long-term
project
relationship.
Right?
Yeah.
And so those are the types of wins that you don't really understand and you don't see until you look at it from a longitudinal viewpoint, where you see, oh, actually 2 years ago I was only making this amount of money on a project, where now I can charge $10,000 for a video. It seems so out of reach until you're there, and it takes that consistency, because 3 years ago, obviously I'm not selling him a $2,500 retainer.
Right. It was a $400 project.
Right. But now it's like you get that first client that's like a retainer, and it's for much, much more than any other project that you've done. It is instantly the biggest confidence boost that you could ever have. And that's life-changing stuff. You can sell clients on social media for $5,000 a month easy if you communicate it well. And that's, for most people, that's a $60,000 salary.
And like I said, you don't have to be the best at it. You don't have to be the best at it. You're not going to be the best at it. I promise you. Maybe you are. But if you're watching this, you're probably not the best at it. You're not going to be the best at it. You never will be. There's always going to be someone who's better at things than you are. You just have to communicate better than the other guys.
Yeah.
You have to talk to them like people, but also professionally, and kind of work in it that way and make those mistakes. Let yourself make them. It's all right.
The way that you have to communicate to, again, clients who are hearing from or potential clients that are hearing from hundreds of people pitching them, hey, I can do this video for you. Hey, I can do these photos for you. You have to communicate differently, in a sense of, it's not just videos and photos that I'm shooting for you. I mean, essentially that is the product I'm giving you, is a video, but you can't communicate it that way. You have to communicate it in a way of, I'm solving a problem for you. So what is that problem? You're not reaching new people on social media, right? Like you are posting bad content, and it's a waste of your time, and it's a waste of your consumer, or better yet, the people who aren't even seeing your content's time.
It's not even just a waste, it's like a poison.
Yeah.
Because they see who you are on these social platforms, and they think of you the way that you perceive, or the way you put yourself, the way they perceive you. So if you have that high quality content, you're going to look way better. Even if they don't buy, they now know that you're professional and not just someone with a daughter who can post on Facebook. Yeah,
essentially. And so communicating that you can solve that problem for them. People aren't paying you to make a photo or to take a photo or to make a video. they're paying you to solve a problem. If you weren't solving a problem, they wouldn't be paying you anything. So even if you're taking prom photos or wedding photos, you're solving a problem. They needed prom photos. They needed wedding.
They want to look back at the pictures later.
Right. And it's I mean, there's different affectations to it, whether it's an emotional, they want to look at those photos in 10 years and get nostalgic about it, or if it's literal financial problems where it's like, I don't know what to post on social media, I don't know how to get to new customers. That's a problem that needs to be solved. What is it costing you? So I always try to communicate, so you're not posting the correct stuff on you're not posting the correct stuff on Instagram and on TikTok. And I forget what it is, like 83% of all video traffic or all internet traffic comes from video.
Yeah. So it's a high number.
Purely by a lack of video content from your company, you're missing out on 83% of internet traffic.
Yeah.
And what does that contribute to? If it's an e-commerce brand, 83% of video traffic, like all they have is the internet. And you're missing out on that traffic. That's literally hundreds of thousands to maybe millions of dollars that they're missing out on a yearly basis, depending on the brand or the company.
Yeah.
If you're really good at videography, that's something that you need to communicate to them. It's not, I can make you great videos, even though that obviously helps, having good quality content and being able to show them, hey, here, look at this video that I made. It's really, really good.
It could be good.
It could be
great.
But if it doesn't solve a problem for them, they're not going to buy it from you.
It's not gonna do anything, yeah.
Making a good video is always important, but making a good video that solves a problem is infinitely more important to a client. And if you can communicate that, you can charge them a lot more. Because if they have a $300,000 problem, what is a $5,000 solution?
Exactly.
It's absolutely nothing.
Value-based pricing. It's cool, but I think we can end it there.
Sure.
It sounded pretty good to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine by me.
Yeah, so I don't even know what to say. How do I end
Thanks for
this?
watching. Hopefully you learned
Dakota
something.
podcast.
Yeah. Hopefully you learned something about creative businesses and what we actually do.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Peace.